Hello and welcome to a pit stop by Epyx. Epyx is a team, whatever, that I have applauded and praised quite a few times for most of their games. Pitstop, I assume, was one of their first, if not the first game released with the Epyx signature. And as you can probably gather, it's a Formula 1 inspired racing game. Yeah. The blob thing you are controlling, let's just pretend it's a car. It's got tires, surprise surprise. And as you knock into obstacles or the curb, the tires will change color. And when they get to a certain color, you will puncture. And that is the fail mechanic in this game, basically. Of course, as it's called pit stop, it probably means that you can enter pits, and you can indeed. And that is probably probably was the sole, I don't know, sales pitch thing for the original game, is the fact that you could actually go into pits and change tires and refuel all that exciting stuff, which isn't particularly exciting, but you'll get to see it soon enough. Here we are. Two guys on either side for the tires, the guy in the rear for the refuel. And this is surprisingly cumbersome. I suppose it is an old game, you have to give it some, or cut it some slack and all that stuff, but let's just say that the idea was much better than the execution of it. It can definitely not compete with a professional Formula 1 pit crew, which can refuel a vehicle and change all four tires in 6 seconds. Here it takes nearly a minute, but that's because I'm skilled. But being an old game, I will be somewhat tolerant towards it, but at the same time I won't, because playing this game was extremely tedious. I was trying to work out metaphors for what would be more tedious or potentially as tedious, but I think Pitstop itself covers it perfectly fine by all by itself. It is not very exciting to play this game. Probably wasn't many racers around at that time, so it probably was very unique in its own way, but nah. So after this, let's switch to Pitstop 2, because of course Pitstop 2 is probably the more known of the games. And excuse the blunder in it. At the beginning of the video I just couldn't decide what track to race, and then I've switched between Grand Circuit and individual tracks and Grand Circuit a few times, but I put both games into one video, which is something I prefer to not do, because I like having the games having their individual videos. But to be honest, these two games I could not squeeze, well I could, but it would be super inflated. I just could not squeeze out enough content to justify two videos. Content, I think, what did I say, content? Whatever. Pitstop 2, as you can probably see, compared to Pitstop, was a vast improvement in the graphical department and also in the gameplay department. The fact that you had the option to play two players at the same time, split screen, and race each other on different tracks was rather unique. The tire mechanic is the same, but instead of the entire tire changing color, you have a strip at the top of the tire that gives you a color-coded indication of the state of your tires. If they ever turn white, you've got a puncture, which of course is not something you desire. The pit mechanic is back in Pitstop 2, refined, but still quite cumbersome. The thing is though, recording this footage for both games, but markedly even more Pitstop 1, but it still applied to Pitstop 2, was I was thinking, my brother and I, we used to play this game together some 30 odd years ago, and it was somewhat enjoyable. Now, not so much. Despite the fact that Pitstop 2 was a huge improvement over Pitstop, I was genuinely exceedingly bored playing this game. It almost pains me because, you know, hindsight memories and all that, when you look back with rose-tinted glasses, and the memory of this game is sweeter than actually playing it, unfortunately. There's just no level of excitement. The controls are sluggish. It's just plain old boring, tedious to play. Should probably mention that this racing engine was later used in a supercycle, and you can tell because the motorcycle in supercycle, when you are counter steering into curves or out of curves, whatever, it seems to almost glide sideways more than steer sideways, and that is definitely something that's present in Pitstop 2 as well. The memory of this game is much better than the game itself. I was bored, I was frustrated, and yeah, I normally don't do this short videos, but the 7 minutes is all I wanted to invest in these two games, so I apologize for that. But anyway, well, thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.